Hello out there, everybody. I am King Uluki of Southeastern Australia, King of the Raven tribe, and the Eagle tribe, and the Curlew tribe, and I am many other things. Again, that's for another time. I just want to thank you for all of the wonderful comments, as always, that's coming through on the previous videos. And today, I sort of, in the last couple of days, had the urge to do a video about our present reality and the struggles within this reality that's coming through, and particularly with a lot of the feminine I've been talking to, a lot of the women who have been feeling as though they've been going a bit crazy with how they've been, just what they're picking up energetically, what they're seeing, feeling and hearing. And it's okay to feel that we're going a little bit crazy because of the way that the reality around us has been constructed. And so again, the word reality pertains to our standing, our principal standing on what we see, feel, hear, and comprehend the space all around us. So what's been coming through lately is that there is an AI reality that's trying to steal our consciousness from the organic reality. We're not a cyber matrix. We're not a simulation. We are very real. And our organic reality is governed by the laws of nature and the laws of the universe. And the opposite side to that, which is a artificial constructed reality, which is trying to become more real as time goes on. We know that we have a place for technology, but technology is to be used just like money as a tool, but not to become our reality. Technology is not our reality. Living organisms are our reality. So as you can see behind me, the trees and the nature all around. So the message I got to tell the world is that the nature world, the animals and the trees and the plants and even the molecules in the air are all fighting for our consciousness, for us to acknowledge them consciously. And if we do so, then that helps protect us from the artificial intelligence reality, which is trying to remove us from the laws of nature into more of a cyber or simulated reality. Now, these are things that not long ago I probably wouldn't have spoken about. Is the simulated realities, multi-dimensional realities. But here, our nature reality, which is our 3D, 4D, moving into 5D energetic reality or blueprint, is not a simulation and it's not a hologram. It's very real. So the world of nature, the Mother Nature, our mother herself, along with all of her children, including the plants, who are consciousness and spirit as well, are fighting for us and is fighting to retain our consciousness in an organic reality. And I guess the best way to do that is to get outside a little bit more and absorb the natural sunlight the moonlight, talk to the trees and the animals and have them talk to us and share their wisdom, and talk to each other as much as we can as well. And that way we program each other and ourselves into retaining the organic reality, and not to slip away. When we become isolated from other humans, we also become isolated from nature. And I know there's a lot of lonely people out there, and that's heartbreaking. That shouldn't be the case anywhere. Also, lonely animals. So if you are someone who has very little humans in your life, get some animals around you and have them be your family. And for the animals who are watching and listening, get some humans in your lives and make them your friends and family as well. So as time goes on, like today, I've been feeling nervous, anxious, as well as wonderfully happy, all in one emotion. And it's almost conflicting or confusing at the same time not. And so I'm also observing the clockwork that is our Earth, and how it's rotating, and how the moon and the sun is rising and setting in our skies. The waxing moon is in a much different location and line than the waning moon, and they're in miles apart from each other from how it used to be. It used to come across in a set line, and you could set your clock by that line and by the timing, but now you can't. It's operating on a, and again, I've told people for about a decade that our world is actually wobbling, and the axis is shifting more and more. And whether that's due to the battle between our organic reality and the cyber or non-organic reality, as well as the polar shift that's meant to be happening, the pole shifting from north to south and south to north, and as well as displacement of mineral weight around the world. Example, mining and deforestation that has caused weight displacement around the world and has caused the world to wobble more and more on its axis. And also, we're about to do some experimenting with the Schumann resonance, which a lot of people, I'm sure, who watch these videos are aware of. And that when we as a people can spike in our frequencies and energies and become happier through that process, that the human resonance, which is the consciousness of our mother, will too spike and rise. So we want to start having some social experiments worldwide, and maybe some people can leave some comments on how we can do that, some ideas and timelines, so we can come together and experiment with that. In the back of the book, known as the Bible, is a book called Revelations. And in Revelations, and I'm not sure if it's mentioned in other books, but there's the number 144,000. 144,000 is not a literal number of people. It's I don't believe it to be 144,000, but merely 144. And I think something on the earth may click and change or switch once we get the Schumann resonance up to 144, collectively and consciously together. We believe that right across the universe there's only 144 variations of frequencies that cause all life in every dimension to exist. And that's every dimension, every reality, every universe, every galaxy. And upon, I know I don't like to say understand, we shouldn't understand each other, but comprehend each other, but we do need to understand the universe because we are not above it. We are intertwined and beneath and inside of it, not outside of it. So from within the 12 houses of creation, which are divided by 12, hence 12 is 144. The Schumann resonance, once we click it to 144,000, I believe that the world may experience a jump in time and space and move us through to a much higher consciousness and leave the lower vibrations and the negatives behind in this reality. And I hope I'm not going too fast or jumping ahead to and fro with the information. But so as time goes on, hopefully that we can come together consciously and intertwine our spirits so we can keep vibrating higher and higher and higher until we get the Earth's frequencies to a point where, for instance, we'll be able to communicate with each other free from technology, like we are communicating now, without phones and without emails and videos. That ESP and telepathy will be as strong as it's ever been on our Earth. And as we can see, what's happening around the world is the negatives want to cause World War III. They want a nuclear war, and that won't be happening. I believe that there is a greatness that's coming to our world like never before. And it's only a matter of time before we as a humanity start to feel and experience that, how could I say, it's glory, but it's not glorification of a falseness or ego, but the glorification of a great loving truth and in the light, that we can do this together, because none of us can do this alone. And as much as I wanted to do it alone or wish I could do it alone, I know that I can't, and that we need to do this together as one people on one earth. Now, I'm not sure if I spoke about the ending of duality in my last video to you. For feminine and masculine are not duality, but they're at opposite ends of the same spectrum with neutral in the middle. So the world is going a little bit crazy with some very weird ideas to do with, sexuality, boys and girl talk, and all kinds of things like that. And I didn't really want to touch into it, but in our culture, in the tribes here in Australia, from 0 to 7 or 8 years of age, children were just children. They weren't sexed in any way. They wasn't genderized. But at the ages of 7 or 8, they started to become knowing of their biological vessel and what that vessel stood for and means and is capable of. But before that age, children are just children. They're not boys or girls. I think that trying to get our heads around the idea of when we're vibrating higher or lower is our outlook on life in that present time. So when we're feeling wonderful inside, people will see us as being wonderful and feel us as being wonderful towards each other, and glowing with smiles that have no attachment but to share love and knowledge and light and wisdom to the world. And again, it comes from a space within yourself, within our intuition and within our heart space, that when we truly do love each other, it comes from a place of self-love as well, which I've always avoided throughout my whole life. And I thought that the love of the self can only be achieved truly through the love of others, and vice versa, which actually may be the case. You know, we must understand or comprehend, my apologies, what is love, and how do we use it, experiment with it, grow it, nurture it, much like a fire, that we feed it the fuel it needs to burn. So what is the fuel that love needs to burn in our hearts? Is it companionship? Is it belonging? Is it acceptance of our own place in the universe and the world around us? And also through that process, protecting ourselves from the negatives and not giving our time, space and consciousness to users who just want to use us for whatever purpose users use people for, but to protect ourselves from those types of humans. Because as much as I want and need humans to be beautiful, and all humans to be beautiful, we know that's just not the case just yet. So some people are going to need to go through their own hell internally before they can really seek light and love, truth and justice in their own lives out there. And again, through the power of love and forgiveness, forgiving those who have wronged us, and love is the key to it all. Just that open sharing, and sharing, food is love, company is love, and to never wish hatred or wish anything truly bad on anyone, but to rather to wish for them to wake up consciously and to see what is happening around them, and how their thoughts and actions negatively affect the good folk around them. And to ensure that the love that we give each other, it comes from a place without attachment or wants or expectations as well. And that kind of vibration that we bring within us, that will protect us from the negative, as well as heighten our intelligence. And the true intelligence that we should be working on is the heart intelligence, which is much smarter than the brain intelligence, because the brain is just a computer to make sense of things we see, feel, hear. But the heart is our driving force. Our heart is simply our heart, the heart of all things. It's the first thing that gets created during co-creation. And it's the last thing that dictates our life. So it all comes back to our heart space, our heart chakras, trying to live in it the best we can and protect it, as well as use it to share with and protect others. And the heart of humanity is always under attack. And I think that our thinking's not real good. I feel that we're coming up to a time now where we really must judge or discern what's going on around us, so we can better protect the ones we love and get ready to protect our mother on a level that we've never had to do before, because she needs our protection. She has loved us and nurtured us, and she wouldn't abandon us either. There was a time when she had the opportunity, but she turned it down to stay with her children, who are us. And I think it's time that we repay that love and favour, so that now we can consciously use our spirits and our power to serve and protect her on a level we've never had to do before. There's a lot of new things coming, and we're going to have to become a new humanity in order for this to occur. We need to become extraordinary humans to do this. And as I've told a couple of people during general conversation about, that they're not going crazy with the things they're seeing and hearing and feeling and comprehending around them. And a lot of people are now becoming more disciplined, are quitting vices, which is great. I've had to let go of a few vices myself in order to do the work that we need to do the conscious work, vibrational work, and for the vibrational healing of each other. And when we love and heal each other, our mother instantly becomes more loving and more healed herself. So how we treat each other affects the mother we live upon, and it becomes an automatic process then. And love is the key. You can't bring more hatred into the world and more division thinking that is going to heal anything or anyone. Because hate can't fight hate. Hate can only feed hate. But only love can counter hate, and only love can fight hate. And again, love has no enemies. It took me decades to realize that philosophy. And hate has no enemy. Love has no enemies, because hatred had stolen them all. So as time goes on, again, find strong people around you to bounce off and to echo each other, to echo each other's purpose of being and place of being here in this world. We definitely are moving into a new earth, and the transition has begun, and the battle for our consciousness has begun. So being an optimist, I did truly believe that everyone is going to make it through on some level or another. But there is some hatred still left in the world. That's, you only got to turn on the TV and see it and feel it. So again, probably to protect your vibration is to probably withdraw a little bit from from some of the social media platforms to use it as a tool for, for sending and sharing beautiful messages with each other and connecting with beautiful people, and blocking and locking out anything that causes a negative response within, and to discern and judge it very fastly and get rid of it out off your platform or off your system that you're using. And it's getting more harder to be able to share great truths online because of the way censorship is going. And also I see now is that we're coming into a space and time where we need to retain our humanity more than ever in this world. Music's always great for that. Music and art forms of different sorts. Find films and music that inspire you, inspire the artist within, and do some artwork yourself, or experiment with art, music, and art can be anything, really. It could be the way you cook, it could be the way you clean, it could be the way you simply walk through the street and communicate with people. So again, we're not sure if art imitates life or life imitates art, because it is quite an art form to live on a more loving level when there's so much negative around us. And again, to raise our vibrations, we wash out the words that are no good to us. Hatred, want. Want is a negative need or unnecessary needs. And also resentment, not to speak in resentment of the world around us, because that's what the negatives want. They want us speaking hatred. They want us in resentment. They want us to have anxiety and heartbreak and become miserable, because that's how they like us, the negatives, to feed on during this spiritual war. We are in a spiritual war, and we must realize this in order to become victors in this process. I'll touch on the book of Revelation and prophecy. The thing with text of any kind is, and scripture of any kind, whether it be online, in a printed book, we know that it has been edited by the consciousness of man, and much of it may not be able to be trusted, but so we need to read between the lines and to read what the words and text say energetically as opposed to literal. We must look at it in a literal sense, but to absorb it in a non-literal sense and in the between the lines sense, because not everything is as it seems on this world, in our earth. So the book of Revelations mentions the 12 tribes of Israel. But when I was a younger man, Israel wasn't Israel, it was Israel, as in is real. And somewhere along the line, the timeline has changed it. And I know that a lot of people look at the Mandela effect as one of the examples of trying to steer humanity away from our original timeline. So, and another project is the Looking Glass project, which some people out there probably know about. So the number 144 in the Revelations in prophecy, again, is that 12 by 12 number. It's, the human frequency is made up of 12 houses with 12 rooms in each house, or 12 versions within each house. And that is the universal construct. Nothing can exist outside of those 144 frequencies. And that's all and everything that ever existed and that will ever exist anywhere in the universe. So some knowledge has been hidden from me. The spirits of creation who have been guiding me and teaching me, they also hide things from me, because they know that once I know it, I'm going to speak it to the world and to humanity, because that's my job. Not only is it my job, it's my wish, and it's also our creation's wish that humans now get the knowledge they need to repair the damage the negative has done to our earth. Because we are a blueprint, and we have the whole world, and earth is a blueprint. So all of the things that's ever existed can be recreated, utilizing that blueprint. Once we're going to go through a new creation, like a recreation of the old earth to become a new earth. And again, it's not necessarily a out there idea. It may be quantum, it may be all within. And it's both. It is within and it is without. So some things are almost beyond our comprehension, but we don't need to know all these things. All we need to know is where we as a human lives and exist in the universe and fulfill our roles. And some people's roles are merely been fulfilled by their own ignorance. And as much as I wish that wasn't true, and as much as I wanted to be right about that, I'm not always right. And I wish I was right when I wish that everyone had everyone does have the capacity to change, but a lot of people are choosing not to. They put too much faith in the world governments, and we can no longer allow that to happen on a spiritual level. No world government can be trusted to govern us anymore. We just look around the history of the world and we know that that's the case. We have a new world coming. We have a new form of governance about to be spoken of in the world. And it's going to take all of us to do it, though. It's going to take our conscious thoughts and efforts. It's going to take unyielding love. And we should wield love like a sword. We should wield the light like a sword, and as a weapon against negativity and the darkness. Because again, as much as we wish that wasn't true, that the darkness didn't even exist, it does. And it exists within as well as without. It's what we do with that acknowledgement that now matters. So Earth matters. Earth matters, hashtag Earth matters. And again, that word Earth is just a typo. I still believe that we take the H and put it back to the start, and we have planet heart, because she is our heart, and we are her hearts, and her love for us is immense. It's infinite, and it never changes. It doesn't, and she doesn't judge us. You know? As much as we judge each other, she'll continue to love and accept us for who and what we are. So we're about to go through some mighty and glorious changes. And I look forward to seeing and feeling the rest of you in my heart, and vice versa. That we see each other through our hearts now, communicate through our hearts, value everything through our hearts. And through there, we get our ascension and we get our beautiful earth. We'll get to utopia, as much as some people think that's a myth, that word utopia. It's just another word that describes a beautiful place to be. And of course we can make that. In fact, we will make that. And there's no mystery there. It's because the mysteries of the universe are starting to untangle. But there are some secrets to the universe that we must keep secret, because many humans, their ears are not qualified to be hearing that type of information. Their consciousness is untrained to be knowing such important things. But there are many humans out there who can know these things that's coming, and they'll get the information. If it's theirs to be known, they shall receive. We can only ask the universe for knowledge, and if we are qualified to hear it, then the universe shall gift it to us. And that's the same with our human interaction with each other. So as time goes on, seek wisdom in the wise people. Again, just watch out for false teachers and false prophets, and who are seeking things that's uncomfortable to be giving or asked of. You know, I've only ever asked for love in this world to be expanded in the hearts of man. When I say man, man is all things, because man comes from the word humanity, and the word humanity means all things of the earth, whether they have feathers, fins and scales and legs or no legs, or inner shell, outer shell, doesn't matter. The word humanity applies to all living things. The plants, the air is alive, the clouds are alive, even the starlight is a living connection to a past reality or a future reality even. So when we stargaze, just be careful not to stare at one star for too long, because it's a direct connection to something that we may be unaware of, that is transference of information that may be serving injustice to our consciousness and our realities. I got punched in the arm one time by a desert shaman because he saw me staring at the stars. And when he stood next to me, he looked up and then he punched me in the arm. And when I asked him, I said, "What did you punch me for?" He said, "Don't stare at the stars." He said, "They can steal your spirit." And he's a cheeky old man. And he said, like when you admire a woman, don't stare, admire. Never stare at nothing too long, because it's unnatural. Our eye contact with each other, because the eyes are windows to our soul, as the old saying goes. Trying to, we do talk about our mother quite a bit, and a lot of the tribes of the earth, because we are a tribal earth. Everyone comes from a tribe of some sort or another. Everybody, even those deemed negative, as the Anunnaki and the reptilians, all come from some kind of tribal beginnings. So, our mother is our mother for one reason, is because in the first days of our human creation, when the 7 spirits of creation, which are acknowledged by many of the world tribes as serpents, 7 serpents of creation, which are merely sine waves, and they become serpents in our imagination is real, it's not an illusion. So we can imagine things, and just because it's inside our mind, it doesn't mean it's not real. So the 7 spirits of creation, along with a beautiful Pleiadian father, had caused, like the universe is made up of cause and effect, cause and reaction, call and response. There's always an echo to the original, and that echo bounces back at the original, and the original bounces back to the echo, and so forth. And it becomes it becomes infinity, really. So our mother is our mother because when she was created out of rainbow obsidian on the earth here, our great father and the 7 spirits of creation, or the 7 major tonalities of our creation, who had through color and sound vibration created all things in the universe, including us. Well, not us personally, but our world we live on and the nature around us. So in our first days of our creation, when the animal world had become conscious of self and fully aware that they just weren't a physical being, but that they were a spiritual being inhabiting a physical body. The moment that happened, that's when the spirits of creation had brought down the great father from the cosmos, and together had harnessed, I dare not say manifest or created, but had harnessed the collective spirit of our earth to come into one rainbow obsidian woman. A woman was the first bipedal being of our earth. And being rainbow obsidian, she was caused to be that way to hold all the frequencies that was needed to be held within her. At the moment that occurred, all living creatures of the earth, all the fish, the birds, the trees, the grasses, the clouds, everything had given a piece of their own spiritual nature to go in to this woman, and her life force glowed a piece of all things of the world inside of her. And then our mother and our father had laid down and co-created 13 children. And the first child was born to harness all the frequencies of our father and mother combined to come together and be torn apart to become us. So, and she gave birth to 13 children. The firstborn was different to the rest. Even though they had the same mother and father, they were not deemed to be genetic siblings. For each had their own genetic code. And the firstborn was not a co-creator, but rather just a portal for energy and frequencies. But the remaining 12 was brought together to make 6 marriages and 6 partnerships. And 6 is a magic number. But hexagon is a beautiful geometric creational pattern. The light itself has that number involved in its geometric structure. And when I mean the light itself, I mean the light itself has these numbers involved. So we all come from those 6 marriages. All humans of the earth genetically come from them 6 arranged marriages. Not 2 people, but rather 12 people. And those 12 people all came from the same womb of our mother. And that's why we are all kin to nature. So we are spiritually related to the fish, to the birds, to the elephants, and the giraffe, everything we are spiritually kin to. And we are not removed from nature as much as humans think we are, but energetically. So it's almost genetic, but it's not. It's more of a spiritual code than a genetic code, or a energetic code, if I can say that as a word, energetics. So our mother is our mother because our ancestors were born out of her womb. Because a lot of people think that she's our mother because she provides us with the nature of food and nature of the trees and that. Yes, that's a great story, but it's not the full facts. The fact is that we actually directly came from her womb when her spirit was in one vessel. So she's our mother because she's our mother. And he's our father because he's our father. We can't have one without the other. So I think that to know that we are, not only are we children of earth, we are children of the cosmos because of that marriage and union between our mother and father. So we are celestial and we are earthly. And we are earthly and we are celestial. It's one the same. We are the children of the earth and the celestial combined. Because our mother is also celestial. You only got to travel out a little bit and look back to know that we are celestial as well as earthly. So I haven't read any comments recently, but I do look forward to catching up on some of the comments. And with this video, there will be a contact for me for the world to reach out and contact me, because I need the rest of you out there as much as we all need each other and the information that's coming through us all. And again, the more love that we give to each other will become a feedback loop that will strengthen each time there's a loop. It'll get stronger, 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 and stronger until we know we are, we will not be defeated by the negative through that process of feeding each other that love that needs to be fed as nourishment for the human soul. So I think I'll leave it at that for this sharing and this presentation. And again, I look forward to reading some of your comments and feedback. And much love to everybody. And I wish you all the best. So have a wonderful day.